Joining me once again on the Room podcast is Slippery Pete, Peter Barrett in the house, fighting December 12th at UFC 256 at the Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada. How are you, Pete? Welcome to the show once again, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I am incredibly excited about this upcoming fight, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Excellent. Well, kind of a quick turnaround considering the circumstances with lack of fighting and activity out there. But you had a fight in August, and now we turn around. You're here in November. How good does it feel to get another fight before the end of the year when, we were locked down at COVID and you had a fight cancellation in April and shit like that? How's it feel?
It feels great. My original plan was to be coming in, rolling in with some momentum to finish out the year and try to bang out a couple wins, but definitely helped get my feet wet the last time out there, and now having the opportunity to fight on a pay-per-view is a huge opportunity in my eyes. So I'm really looking forward to it, and had I not come away with any injuries, maybe I would have fought sooner, but I've been consistent with the gym and my training, and I'm really looking forward to getting back in there.
Well, I would imagine it's a huge difference in this training camp compared to the training camp getting ready for your UFC debut. Talk about that. You were going through COVID. Did that affect your performance in that fight, your debut, or talk a little bit about that?
No, I mean, if anything, because of COVID, it's allowed the fighters to be almost more selfish with their training because. If it was business as usual, we would be going to classes and then trying to get some one-on-one time later, or, but where everything's kind of been on hold, the focus was getting the small groups together and making sure that we're all working on the things that we need to work on to make sure we're showing up on fight night well prepared. So, Joe does a really good job getting the guys in there that I need to see the looks from to put me in the situations where we think I could be, at a disadvantage to get me ready for this. So back to the point, small groups. Everything's about small groups. Small groups training at Lausanne, small groups training at Yadtong. Not invite only anymore. It was for the first camp because everything was kind of closed and we were only open really for fighters that were fighting to get ready for fights. So it just really allowed the primary focus to be the guys getting ready, or in my case, me, and to everybody be on the same page, and the one goal being to get my hand raised at the end of that 15 minutes.
Excellent. Well, coming out of that UFC debut, what'd you learn from that fight? A gritty fight. You hung in there, and it looked like you had a great time in there, even though you came, on the shorthand of the stick there. But what did you feel about that fight, and what did you take out of that fight leading into this next fight of yours?
I mean, I think the biggest takeaway is you're going to need a gun to stop me. And the second biggest takeaway is, I shut down that kid's jiu-jitsu, and he was a known submission guy. I think like 9 of his fights or 8 of his fights didn't leave the first round. He ended up catching a neck, snatching someone's throat, and putting them out. So, that whole second round, it was just all anti-jiu-jitsu or defensive jiu-jitsu, however you want to look at it. And that was what we had spent, the last, since the opponent change, when we found out it was Alal and it wasn't going to be Garcia, we just switched everything up and went right for, preparing for chokes, him on my back, him looking for darces, him looking, for everything. So I was, in that regard, I did a really good job, and I was able to put the things to work that we worked on in the fight, which, as a lot of people know, it's really hard to say, I'm going to spend, 6 weeks working on these techniques and then come fight night. That 6 weeks probably isn't enough to integrate that stuff for fight night. Maybe the next fight later, the fight after that, that's when you start to see it breaking through when you're fighting. But, to have prepared like that and had everything, seamlessly come together for that anti-jiu-jitsu, it was really nice. And then, I did have a blast. That was the whole thing, I just wanted to go out there and enjoy myself and have fun. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy whooping someone's ass too. I wasn't out there just patty caking and whatever. that kick in the beginning kind of really slowed me down there. And but dude, I mean, it's the fight game. You kick me in the face, I'm going to get up and I'm going to try to fucking punch your lights out. So, it's business as usual.
And just like you said, it's going to take a gun to keep you down, and it showed in that fight. Here we go. You're back in there, and you're taking on a young gun here. Chase Hooper, man. How did this fight come about? Chase fought back in June, suffered his first loss, and it was a dominating loss. Alex Caceres right there put it on Chase and really showed a lot of vulnerabilities in this kid. What are you thinking about this matchup, and how did it come about?
We got an email. Hey, does Peter want to fight Chase Hooper, UFC 256, December 12th? And we said, fuck yes, we do. Let's do it. He's someone that the UFC has invested a lot of money in, where they gave him the developmental deal out of the Contender Series. So, it's nice to have a high-profile fight. And, I'm really looking to get in there and knock him out. What we saw with Caceres is that if you can manage his takedowns, then he's going to crumble on his feet. And, nothing against Caceres. I think I hit a hell of a lot harder than he does. And I'm going to find that kid's fucking chin, and I'm going to hit the off switch, and he's going to sleep. I'm looking to knock him out, and I'm not wasting any time. You know what I mean? It's going to be right off the bell, right from the rip, some highly calculated violence, and I'm going to bring it right to him.
And what we've seen out of Chase is, if he's losing on his feet, tries to pull guard, and you're not a guy to, come back up, you'll follow him down and you'll just ground and pound him. Are you looking forward to saying, hey, come on down here and try me down here? Are you ready to jump on the floor too if this kid calls you down there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're prepared to go wherever the fight needs to go, but it's no secret the game plan is to knock this kid out from our feet. If I have to do it from my knees when I'm sitting in his half guard, so be it. But he's also a world champion brown belt. He's won Pan Ams. So, if we're going to game plan to beat him, we're going to game plan to beat him with my strengths, not to take it to his strengths. So the game plans have been, anti-jiu-jitsu. Let's utilize a very similar game plan that we saw Caceres use in the last fight and pick them apart from our feet. If that fight never goes to the ground, I'm a happy dude. If that fight does go to the ground, it's going to be Hooper getting woken up. A nice little pat on his belly saying, Chase, are you okay? Come on, sit up, let's go. So, in a perfect world, I start him from the feet, and we don't have to worry about that.
Excellent. Well, you talked about the little clusters, the little clans of, training partners for, getting ready for this fight. Have you added anything into this fight since it's a real proper training camp getting ready for this? Is there any new looks you're getting? Anything that you added into this training camp special to get ready?
I mean, nothing out of nothing crazy. You know what I mean? Like we know he likes to attack legs. We know he'll give up significant position to go for a leg. We know he'll pull guard. He's jumped back from a feet, and taken people. Like, we've studied the tapes. We know where he's, most dangerous, and we've prepared for those things.
Well, you're going against one of the UFC prospects here. Kid's 21 years old. Got that contract at 19. This is, this is a big fight for, not that any UFC fight is not big, but they got eyes all over this kid. Pete, what does this do for you if you take this kid out, at UFC 256?
So when I take Chase Hooper out, I think it's just gonna make me a more popular fighter amongst the fans. It's gonna increase the value of my stock in the eyes of the company. It's gonna get me a better follow-up fight from here. And that's not me looking past Chase Hooper by any means. I'm just saying I beat him. That's a good feather to have in my hat, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm not really trying to steal his thunder, but I'm going to be coming with the lightning, so we'll see what happens.
Excellent. Well, Pete, fun as always to talk to you. Thank you so much for coming on. 3 weeks out from this huge opportunity. Your second time there fighting for the UFC at the Apex Center again. All of New England will be behind you. Bunch of fans around the country now you've picked up since you made your debut. You're a hell of a fighter, Pete. Hell of a dude, man, and can't wait to see you put work against this young kid on the December 12th.
Hey, man, thanks for having me on the show again. I always appreciate the time and love taking a minute with you, Steve, so I appreciate that too. Thank you.
There you go. Slippery Pete fighting December 12th, UFC 256 against Chase Hooper.
Let's go.
Big time featherweight fight here, and the implications of the hand raised for this fighter is huge coming into 2021. Thanks a lot, Pete, man, and see you in a few weeks at 256.
Let's do it.
All right.